Hi everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we are preparing our beehives. We have not done beehives for a few years, and when I was working, our beehives would just kind of get neglected, and eventually the hives would get weak and they would die. So, but now that I am homesteading full-time, we're gonna start the beehives again. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what we're dealing with, because the beehives look a little bit bad. Okay, so Elijah went ahead and he sprayed the bees. And so it was painted pink. I think now we're going to paint this like a red color. It doesn't really matter what color you paint it. I mean, some people have very particular views on these things. But the big one is that we're gonna have to wash the interior. Let me show you this. I mean, this has got to get cleaned. So we're gonna work on cleaning that. And then here are the old frames. And so this is just beeswax. You can see where the bees have started it. We're just gonna clear all this out and clean it and see what we have after that. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. Let's get started. Okay, so even though that was not a perfect job, that was extremely old spray paint, we are going to go up, and we have a track around the garden, and Elijah and I are actually we're going to take you along, but we're going to scope out where we're going to put the bees. The bees, you should try to have face them southeast, so that they you know, raise up with the sun, they're warm, but their back should be to like a tree or a hedge or something for a wind block. They should be very near water, which we have a pond on the premises, so we're good there. And if I think of anything else, I'll let you know. So let's go pick out our place. So this wouldn't be a bad spot. The only thing I don't like is that if it's going to point southeast, it will be pointing this way, and the garden is that way. So let's go around. This is a Russian or autumn olive tree. We could literally kind of like set it right there.
Yeah.
Or set it in between them even.
Setting them between them would be cool.
It would just, we'd have to make sure that we can get into it easy. Because remember, you got to take the lid off a lot.
Yeah.
So access is a issue too.
Or we would just prune around it and make it like easier to access.
I'm thinking like right here. Like right here. Level it out right there and put a little black tarp down. But just not huge. We might have to get rid of this branch so that we can get in and out of it easy.
Yeah.
And that growing black walnut tree we might have to prune out. But other than that, it kind of looks perfect to me.
That should all be really easy stuff too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to it. bees that we just picked up. Chris is gonna bring over our normal wooden hive, and I'm gonna try to tape this, but I don't have a bee suit on. I'm gonna get as close as I can so that you can see the setup of all this. So these are deep super frames.
Which actually they're a little bit short. Foundation doesn't go quite all the way to the bottom.
But the bees will build their comb on it, so it'll be all right.
Yeah, the bees will be able to make up for that.
And that just gives the bees a good start, and it keeps them more organized with how they build their comb. Because if we put nothing in there, they would still build comb in there, but it would be all over the place. So this kind of directs them and keeps it in those frames. We'll still have to come in and like scrape things off because bees like to make comb everywhere, don't they?
Yes. Yes.
So now I'm gonna set the camera back, and Chris is going to pull the bees out of there. I have no protection, so
I will do this very deftly and craftily. So as you can see, I am the beekeeper ninja. Hey guys, okay, so this is take 2. So we haven't been able to find our bee suits, and we kind of live by the philosophy here on the homestead: get her done, do what you have to do. And so that's what we were trying to do. And I've got to get packed and get off for training for my my new job here in a minute. And so I was like, you know, let's get her done. And so that's what the first attempt was. Well, fortunately, my wife, you know, is very creative, smart, and so she came up with the idea of using the burlap sack, which is excellent. And so what we have done essentially we have designed our own bee suit. So, and it definitely like it's not as good as a bee suit itself, but this is pretty close right here. So I'm going to give it a second to try, and I've got 3 more frames I need to move into this hive here. So bear with me.
Well, there you have installing a new beehive with new bees, and I just want to give some precautions. We have never gone to our beehives without a suit. Unfortunately, our children have misplaced those suits, and so we had to make do with what we had. And typically we wouldn't have even done that, but it was going to get very cold, and we did not want to leave them in that plastic nuke. The nuke is the little box that they come in with the frames in it. And so Chris did get stung like 5 or 6 times. And we highly, I mean, Chris has done beekeeping for a long time. We've done beekeeping. We haven't for a few years, but we did in the past. And so I don't want to say he knew what he was doing, because it certainly didn't look like it. But he definitely knows. He's not a beginner, that's for sure. And so there is, I mean, people have done beekeeping forever, so they didn't always have bee suits, and so we just had to make do with what we had. We will be locating our bee suits at some point, and from now on you will see us using bee suits. We do not let our children anywhere near the beehive. It's actually positioned in a place that they really would never be near anyway. So just kind of keep those things in mind when you're placing a beehive. I know there are orchards around here that allow their children to go all around their beehives. I just don't want to see an accident happen and one get tipped over and they get swarmed or something like that. But we do have children-sized suits for our kids, and so they will go to the beehives with us because I think that this is something that everyone should learn. It's the most fulfilling. I mean, bees are absolutely some of the coolest creatures I've ever seen. So we will kind of keep you updated as we go through the whole beehive process. There's so much to learn with it. We still learn things about bees. So I really encourage you, if you don't have bees, maybe start collecting like the hive and things like that. Do it slowly. We, as always, jumped into everything head first. And put it out on Facebook or utilize different social medias. Tell people that you're looking for beekeeping materials. A lot of beekeepers who are older, who are getting out of it, they'll give you their supplies. That's exactly what happened to us. A beekeeper was getting out of the beekeeping business, and so he gave us all his beekeeping supplies. So that's just an amazing thing to pass on to someone else. That's actually a heritage. And so we're hoping to pass that on to our children in some way, shape, or form. You know, I want them to know how to take care of bees and collect the honey and all of that. So this will be like an ongoing, we'll have videos from time to time kind of showing you what we're doing in the hives, and if we have any problems along the way and things like that, we'll just go ahead and address them, just so you know what you're doing as well. Sometimes beekeepers, if you're already a beekeeper and you see, you know, you want to suggest something to us, we always love when you guys suggest things to us. And that's kind of the whole gardening community, is that we pass tips and tricks along to each other. And I feel like nobody's an expert, and so we're all just like on equal playing ground. Some people do have more experience than others though, so we definitely welcome the helpful hints and tips and tricks. So remember, if we can set up a beehive, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.